You're listening to Tehachapi with Key Budge, Tori Costello, Greg Garrett, and Ashley Whitmore.
It's Tehachapi time. Key Budge, Maya Acosta today. Maya, how are you?
I'm well. I'm excited. We're joined by some special guests.
We are, and this is the first time that you and I have got to co-host Tehachapi.
Yes.
So it's nice to have you on board. And so those that are listening, you can't see in, but Maya and I have switched seats, meaning that normally I'm used to be behind the controls, and now Maya is running the ship. So if I drift out, it's because I've annoyed her probably, and she's just silenced me.
Yeah, turned your volume all the way down.
You have the power. And we'd like to welcome Lisa Meredith and Lisa McKenzie from TCTA. Ladies, welcome to Tehachapi.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you. Team Lisa is in the house. And as I love it. And then as we were talking before we started recording, the two of you, not only do we have Team Lisa, but you are the director and the assistant director of our December event at our community theater. Let's talk about that. So what do we have to look forward to for our December performance that'll be housed at the BK Theater? What is TCTA putting on?
Okay, so opening December 1st, it's called A Coney Island Christmas, which is a lovely homespun story about a young girl finding her voice in 1935 Brooklyn during the Depression.
All right. Now this is this a musical or is this a play?
It's a play.
Okay, great. Perfect. Now, so let's talk a little bit about both of your involvements in this, because there's no pressure here, right? This is you guys are old hats at running the ship, right?
Maybe.
Okay.
I've assistant directed on a few plays, and when we were trying to decide on a Christmas play, there isn't a lot out there except, the old standard plays. So we had two plays to read, and I read a couple, and I go, I really like Coney Island Christmas. And then Chris Morales says, would you like to direct? And I go, oops.
Accidentally signed up for something, maybe.
What did I do? Exactly. So that's how we started. We started auditions back in August.
Well, so you mentioned Chris Morales, and Chris has been on a guest many times here on the show. We love having a conversation with her. But she found something when you brought up the fact that play spoke to you. I know Chris, and she goes, okay, it's time for you to put that personal feeling that you had into this play. And I can see Chris doing that and going, okay, you're going to direct. And I bet she's there along to support you along the way, wherever you need it.
Absolutely. We have incredible support. She helped design the stage and is there every step of the way. We have a great team working on this.
And then, Lisa, you also, now you're in the assistant director role.
I am. So I really jumped in this summer with Playwrights Palooza and said, okay, I want to be backstage. Let me just run this show. I see a need, fill a need. And then I reached out to Lisa Meredith and said, how can I be involved with Coney Island Christmas? And she said, I don't know. Come to auditions and we'll find out. So next thing you know, I was stage manager, and then they decided, no, you're going to be the best assistant director for us. So being voluntold, and I went, no. And here I am, and I'm enjoying it tremendously. This is something I've not done before. I've watched both of my sons on the BK stage in the past, and so this is a very different role for me and lots of fun.
Because you were saying being a stage mom, having your boys perform in the past, so you've had a different set of eyes on this and what goes on.
Absolutely. And so, I'm that taxi mom that going to and from rehearsals, sitting in occasionally, working on costumes, like helping with set build. And so now it's part of everything, setting the rehearsal schedule, helping with set design, helping with costumes, helping with props. And it's just so much goes into this, helping with lighting and sound. And I'm getting to see the other side of it. And I'm love to be an organized help for it. But okay, that's worded totally weird. But
It
edit. But I'm a highly organized person, and so this is a great role for me. And I've got many spreadsheets going on this one, so it's been lots of fun.
Excellent.
And there's so many components to it that we have to follow up on. I have a trunk full of props in my car right now.
What kind of props do you have in there?
Well, it's 1935.
Okay.
So they're a little hard to find, and some we have to make. So,
Okay, gotcha.
I've been scouring in the thrift stores lately, which is not a usual habit of mine.
I'd love to hear that you're out there trying to make everything authentic to period as you can.
Yes.
Right, like a flag of the United States from 1935 looks very different than it does in 2023.
We have a different amount of
Interesting.
states back then, didn't we?
Absolutely.
Sure did. So we did. And our play is Coney Island Christmas. So part of it, we have it's on Coney Island, and the family is Jewish. And so we have a menorah, but we also have a Christmas tree. It's a Christmas play. So, there's a lot going on with, I don't want to say a whole lot about the show. You'll need to come see it.
Okay.
It opens December 1st, as Lisa mentioned. But so a ton of props that are coming in all over. The seasons are all over the place with this show. It's very hard. It's a comedy, but also very heartwarming. It really pulls at the heartstrings. There's a good tug there where you're like, oh. So
It's definitely a feel good. And we have, I think, 16 kids and 6 adults. But we have such committed and enthusiastic a cast that it's just wonderful. The parents are just fabulous. They've helped with props. They've helped with costumes. And we have a few people are on the stage for the first time, obviously, with 22. But we have some veterans from Clue, from Addams Family, from A Christmas Story last year. So we're in that respect, we're in really good shape. And it all seems to come together. And at the last moment, we're having the stage painted today. So I can't wait to see it. So there's a lot of components to it. And tech. And then we've got tech. We've got sound effects. We've got lighting. We've got projections on the screen.
You have thrown so much to me that I can go in so many different directions here. But I want to know, because from one of the first things that you mentioned when you talked about it, when you mentioned that you read the play and it spoke to you.
Yes.
What about this play spoke to you?
I think I feel it's about a young girl finding her voice. It's based on a short story by Grace Paley called The Loudest Voice. And then it was adapted by Daniel Margulies for staging at the Geffen. And it just spoke to me because it's about family, it's about tradition, and it's about finding your own joy.
That's amazing. All right, I'm getting buy-in here, okay? And if you don't have that, I would think, I mean, this is your first directing role, but if you don't feel that way about what you have in hand, I don't think that it must be incredibly difficult without having that kind of passion and feel for it to translate that to your actors.
Yeah, and I think it's a play, it's for all ages, and I think everybody can connect to the theme of the play. And it spoke to me when I read it. I said, oh no, it's got to be this play. There's a lot of plays out there, but we have to have kids. What is Christmas about? It's about kids.
What is that like, working with a crew of more kids than adults? What is that atmosphere?
It's organized chaos.
Okay.
Yeah,
100%.
But it's actually fun.
It is
There
so
is
fun.
never
They have nicknames.
Oh yeah,
Potato.
potato.
Right. They have nicknames that they've either given themselves or we've given them. So it's a ton of fun, and
Yeah, it's fun. It's never a dull moment. Yeah, we have Captain Kirk. We have a girl that likes to be called Potato.
right.
Yeah.
So
All the different personalities.
yeah, it's really fun, and they range in ages, I believe, from 8 to 15. So I mean, it's good middle age, tweens in there, and like Lisa said, never a dull moment. Always something going on. Wisecrackers, like the wise guys for sure. Yeah.
And we have one lady that her name's Amy Webster, and she plays the mother and in a Coney Island Christmas, and all of her kids have been on stage. And her husband was a Santa for A Christmas Story last year, and she just came to the audition, and we said, "You want to come up and read?" So she came up and read, and we really liked it, and we said, "We would like to cast you." And she says, "Oh, me?" And then pretty soon she's saying, she knew all her lines from the get-go. It was incredible. And then she said, "I can either have my hair red or brown for the play. Do you want me to dye it red or keep it brown?" And that's just amazing commitment to the play. And her son is also in it, and he was in A Christmas Story last year. So they've been so helpful and just I would say just brimming with enthusiasm right now, just for the play and props and costuming. And we just did most of the staging, set dressing on this last weekend. So they get to see the stage tonight, and I can't wait to see their faces when they come in, because it's just about done.
It's going to be Christmas for them.
Yes, it definitely will be Christmas.
Unwrap the big family gift for everybody tonight.
Yes.
So that's so cool.
It's almost that each day they come to rehearsal now, they can see another layer has been added on to what's happening on the set. Or when we first introduced sound effects to them last week, they're like, "Oh, that's the doorbell." Like the fun excitement, you get to see the layout of the set, and then all of a sudden, oh, now I have props and the set's been dressed a little bit. And
I have to turn off that alarm clock.
Right. Here's the actual alarm clock that I've just rehearsed, with for a little bit. And so adding on layer after layer, you get to see that excitement in their eyes.
How many other people are behind the scenes? You've got the people running soundboards and lights. What all does that entail?
Well, Lisa's running the projections.
Yeah. So I would say, there's about 4 of us actually in the tech booth, but that's on a show day. Behind the scenes beforehand, there's probably a good 10 of us working on various aspects of it. In addition to the 4 in the tech booth on the days of the shows, we also have 2 amazing moms that are going to be our grips backstage. And so they're handling everything for us backstage. And so they'll be coming out to move the set during set changes. They're handling all of that, getting kids in costumes. We have some very quick costume changes happening, so they're taking care of that for us. And they were just at rehearsals, and I'm like, I'm going to be in the tech booth. Can you be backstage for me? And it's helpful that both moms are teachers, so their children are in this show. They happen to both be teachers, and we are very thankful to have them. Yeah, that's been really a blessing.
Now, I would think that as a stage mom leading into now becoming the first or the assistant director, that you are bringing something that from the stage mom's perspective, with having 16 kids to manage, that you're able to bounce one Lisa to the other, that you go, okay, this, let's kind of put some of the parents at ease. Let's talk a little bit about this, or make sure they understand, because I'm sure they're just really kind of paying attention to what's going on with their kids and what to expect.
Absolutely. And some of the children have been on stage before and some have not. Those that have been on stage are a huge help with, this is what's happening, this is what we can expect. And from a parent perspective, I'm able to talk to the parents. This is what's going on. As a parent, it's important to have a rehearsal schedule ahead of time, not, oh, by the way, we're having rehearsal tomorrow. So I've learned that when do I need to have my child somewhere is really important. And so I have made sure to communicate as often as I can, to be transparent with what's going on, the challenges included. So yeah,
they've got school the next morning, and we have to be aware of that, how late are we keeping them. So it helps to know what time they're when will we leave each night, and it's important to get started on time and get through as much as we can. And right now we're running the full show. We're in full rehearsal.
That's got to take a lot of pressure off of you, Lisa. We've got Lisa Meredith, and because Lisa McKenzie is able to take that pressure off of you and keep you, hey, he's getting a little late, or it's we've got to make sure we've got next week's rehearsal schedule ready. And you're able to kind of, because I'm sure you get lost in what's being done on stage. and she's able to kind of hold you and say, hey, we've got to do this, or we got 16 kids, whatever it is.
Yeah, and it's a real partnership because she has a job during the day and I'm retired, so I can run around during the day looking for things and doing things that I need and let people in and out of the building for painting, and she'll send out the rehearsal schedule and we'll know ahead of time. You just can't, we can't keep kids there when they're just sitting around. It's hard to keep kids sitting backstage for a long time. So we keep them busy backstage and for the most part, pretty quiet.
Yeah. As quiet as you can keep 16 children.
Yes. And it's important to know when they're going to get out of there. And they have lives, they have a lot of, these kids have a lot of extracurricular, activities. So we always have one kid always coming in a taekwondo outfit. So
right.
Right. We have several that are coming from one activity after school directly to rehearsal. Yeah, they're like eating dinner in the car because now they're on to the next thing. They're involved for sure.
Well, I know that from my past experience, I used to coach youth baseball. So you'd have 12 kids, and and the only way you could be successful in a practice is to break them up into like small groups, and they all had to have something active to do. So you could rotate them through, and it's like that whole planning session that you do as a coach, as a director, is making sure that this group has got this to do and they've got this to do. Because if you don't, that idle hands, and then they're can be off into the weeds, and then you're looking for, where are they? Oh, they're
they're out picking wildflowers.
Exactly right.
And our noise level during our breaks in between rehearsals is pretty loud.
Right. Yeah, so we are to the point where we are rehearsing the entire show now. So whether they're on stage or not, they're required to be at rehearsal because at some point they're going to be on stage. But up until this point, it's like if you're not actively saying lines, then we don't even need you at rehearsal tonight. They get the break from that. But now we're to the point, nope, you are there every day from this point on. We have 9 rehearsals left. We have the week of Thanksgiving coming up. So we've got 9 rehearsals before we open to friends and family in the community.
What's a rehearsal like as far as when you the amount of weeks and time that's put in before opening night? How many weeks of rehearsal do we have?
Well, we've been since
we
August.
get to start the TCTA gives 3 months to every play and 4 months of rehearsals to each musical. Some require a little more than others, but that's like the standard we have within the association. And rehearsals were in August and we perform in December.
And we started off with 3 rehearsals a week, and now we're obviously up to 4.
5.
5, actually.
Wow.
5 this week.
We are now, we've added in Saturdays.
Yeah, because we were off Sunday and Friday this week.
Yeah, so we are rehearsing 5 days a week at this point.
Well, I know it speaks volumes with the amount of effort that is being put in as we look at the success over this last year, and even going back further than that. But if I just kind of go back with my recent memory from A Christmas Story last year, all the way through The Addams Family, the amount of success that we're seeing, it seems like you guys are selling out.
Yes, Addams Family this past fall was a huge success for the theater. Really exciting. Every single show was sold out, which is amazing. That's exactly what you want to see, is fill the house and have people there enjoying a show.
And coming to the downtown area, that's really important.
It's a beautiful piece. Then we talk about downtown all the time. Maya and I are always constantly doing something that ties into downtown. And whether you go over to Stray Leaves and you do a little wine tasting, it's like, hey, odds are on Friday and Saturday when they're open, there's a tie into a show.
Absolutely.
So you can swing by, grab a glass of wine before you go, or you can have dinner at one of our eateries downtown. And it's you can park once and enjoy this walking area that's just very beautiful. It's got a nice vibe to it. It's it's great energy is what I see. You've got, with TVAA across the way with a little bit of local artisans, and then everything just kind of complements each other. So I think you guys are just a nice crown jewel that fits right in the middle of downtown.
Yeah, the BK is set in a perfect location for this city.
And the city has been so supportive to us at every step of the way. We really do appreciate that.
Well, I know that, and I can speak for Greg here, is that we try to be support, so we like to be able to say yes when we can. And we want to support groups, but it takes the work that you put in. We can do all kinds of things, but without the energy that's put forth by TCTA as a collective group, none of this happens. It's about the volunteerism and what you guys put in.
Absolutely. And we have a fantastic group of volunteers right now within our membership. Yeah. And so it's not just the board of directors that are volunteering their time. We have so many people, even working on this set now, Coney Island Christmas. We have so many volunteers that are just happy to turn the screws and place up the boards and decorate. And so, I mean, it's all volunteer time.
And a lot of new people that have just joined TCTA have helped out too. So
How do people go about volunteering if they are interested in, the theater or
can I
the
give you
production
my
anyway?
number right now? I do
Absolutely.
Always looking for more hands.
No, it's just like an hour here, an hour there is just so much help because when you look at everything that we have to do from, actors knowing their lines and props and costumes and tech and the stage, it's quite a bit. So, but it's fun and I think it's challenging, but it wouldn't be rewarding if it wasn't challenging.
And I think some of the takeaway that I've heard from the past and from what you have talked about today is that when I ask you, hey, how long, and you talk about August to now, and it's like 3 times a week to 4 times, people go, oh, that's too much for me. But that's not what we're talking about. There are opportunities for people to volunteer in the role that they have available to give, right?
Absolutely. So we have someone that is not available to be at a single rehearsal, but she's amazing with a sewing machine. And so she is working on costumes for our play. And occasionally she'll come in and say, all right, yep, this fits. Let me see where I need to pin this. That's way too long. Let me let this out. Whatever the situation is with a specific costume. And then she goes home to take care of it. And then we see her again when it's ready. But she's not there at every rehearsal, nor would she need to be. We have the same thing with painting. With painting. Painting doesn't happen during rehearsal. You're not there 5 days a week.
And she loves to paint. Susan Palm loves to paint, which is amazing because I don't love to sew. Liz Block loves to sew.
Yeah, I know.
I paint because I have to.
And our newest council member, Jeanette Power, she loves to paint.
She was amazing.
And we love having Jeanette paint with us. Yes.
And she's always telling me that, oh, yeah, I'm heading, she might stop by City Hall, touch base with us. She goes, oh, I'm heading over to the BK so I can start working on painting some of the stage. And
she's such a talented scenic artist.
And she was, one of the recent plays, I don't think it was the Addams Family, the one prior to that, with the bridge,
Oh, yeah. Love. Yes.
Love.
Mm-hmm. And that she was so talking about the integral painting of this to make it look so real.
The bridge,
yes. The bridge. And I know that you've got some incredible set designers and the work that goes in, but she was, I mean, that's her part. And her sharing with, talking about to make it look so real and the amount of time and effort that she would put in because she loves it.
Right. And there are so many talented people in our community. And so we would love to have them. You can actually go on our website, which is tctonstage.com. Our email address is listed there, but you can also become a member if that is what you're looking for. All the information is there. I believe yearly membership start at $35.
I think it's $15 for a student.
And $15 for a student. Mm-hmm. So...
And there's different benefits to go with the different levels that you choose.
Yes. So the higher you go up, the more
discounted tickets.
Discounted tickets you receive. Each member receives a discounted ticket. Which is
the tickets,
a great perk.
The tickets are inexpensive in and of itself. Are they $20?
$20 for a regular play and $25 for a musical.
And so, and then I know you guys usually, depending on your membership, knock $5 off or the different discount levels.
Right.
But at $20 at a regular price to help this, this continue to put that seed money into the next event, because isn't that what the money that comes in from this play helps the seed for the future?
Yeah, we use that to buy other rights to our plays we're wanting to buy or considering.
Well, so let's kind of educate people on that. So when you get a play, let's just say for the Addams Family, I'm sure the Addams Family was not cheap, but you have to get the rights to produce it.
Correct. There are different websites that we go to that we are members of, and we can purchase rights to various shows through them. So Addams Family was a musical. So in addition to the playwrights, we also had to purchase, and it was almost like a rent basis, the music for it. And they said, this is the music you are allowed to use for this period of time, and then we get it back.
Yeah, it's very date specific.
Yes.
Also.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. I mean, and then that helps take care of the composers and those that have the creatives on that creative aspect.
Exactly.
That they're getting their compensation for their art.
Yep, that's how that works.
Yeah.
So we purchase rights ahead of time. And so one of the things when we are looking at a future season or the future shows, we look to see, all right, is this a show that we can even purchase? All right, and how much is that? And then what will it cost us to build this set? Do we have the talent in our local community? Can we cast this?
And is it right for our community also?
Right. So
we're looking for variety most of the time.
yes,
I think so.
We are.
And we wanted to have something for kids for Christmas. So this is it, Coney Island Christmas.
So,
and I'm sure we'll have a lot of parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles.
So Coney Island Christmas is a 3-week run.
Yes, it is.
And there's something different about this run than what we've seen in the past, because we're going to see matinees not just on Sundays.
Well, we had matinees last year with A Christmas Story also.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So because of the Christmas season, we want to get in as many shows as we possibly can. So it is a 3-week run, and the first week is Friday, Saturday evenings, and a Sunday matinee. But the following weeks, we will have 4 shows, Friday, 2 on Saturday, matinee and evening, and then the traditional Sunday matinee. So we have 11 shows total, plus the Thursday, which is our friends and family night.
Oh, you guys are going to do very well.
Thank you.
And so I'm going to steal a little from my memory conversation with Chris Morales, and that even though if you go to the website for one of the shows and tickets aren't available, still come to the box office, because there's always a good chance that you guys have held back a few seats that are available at the box office the night of.
Yes, that's what we refer to as walk-ups.
Okay.
So they can be purchased at the box office. Yes.
Okay.
You just have to get there early if it's a popular show, as we saw on Addams Family.
Right. Let me ask you, if when you look back at the past shows, and when you look at like Addams Family Run and the sellout after sellout, what does that do for the energy of the company?
Well, for the energy of the company, you mean cast?
For the whole TCTA organization. I mean, when they start looking at one sold out performance after another, that energy's got to kind of ripple through, and people are like, okay, they're paying attention to the work that's being done. That passion is translating back out to the community, so you get a little bit of return on that.
Well, one thing is it enables us to buy rights to the future shows. So that really helps us to know what we're going to have for the rest of the season. Because in the past, we weren't always able to do that, especially after COVID. I don't even like saying the word. Right. But, we're bouncing back.
Yeah,
we're
for
bouncing
sure.
back well, yes.
I know we've been very happy to be able to participate and help along with the promotion journey of all the hard work that y'all put in.
Yeah. But when a show is sold out, the cast gets very excited. Absolutely. They're like, wow, this is going to be a full house. And you never know how that house is going. The patrons are going to respond to the show.
And they are wanting to peek out at the audience, which I'm not supposed to do.
You always see somebody peeking.
Always.
So, but it does get very exciting. It lifts the energy. When there's more than 12 people in an audience, the energy is lifted automatically. But when it's a full house, there's nothing else like it, nothing at all. So.
And then your first night is your family and friends night. But the other performances, you're not selling out to family and friends. You're selling out to the community. Yes. And these are your neighbors, and these are people that maybe you work with, but they just go, oh, let's go and support our community theater. Let's see what Coney Island Christmas has to offer as a part of a date night or a weekend, activity. You've become a centerpiece here in Tehachapi for people to kind of plan around.
Oh, yes. And then word spreads and spreads and spreads. Oh, a friend just said Coney Island was fantastic. Let me go online and buy my tickets. I hear it's selling out. And that's how it works, is by word of mouth.
And my neighbors are absolutely required to go. If I know they're going to be gone and they can't bring their trash cans in, I bring their trash cans in. You got to go to the play.
You owe me. All right.
That's how
We have
that
long
IOU
driveways.
works. Yes. So it is really exciting when you get to this point in the production, that it's all coming together. The cast gets to see it. We get to see it. They're off. They're no longer holding their scripts. Everyone's off book for the most part. And
That's a big deal.
They get to finally hold a prop because they're not holding a script. So it's just very exciting for everyone when we've added these layers on, as I've mentioned.
Yeah, we call it layering. It's kind of like dressing for winter.
Yeah.
Props, sound effects, text, screen, costumes.
It gets more exciting too once the costumes come in. I feel like that's the final touch.
It does. And we have our first night of costumes tonight.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the costumes. The costume design has always been very intriguing to me, especially if this is kind of I wouldn't know if you'd call it a period piece, but set in 1935. What has that process been like, either finding or creating these garments?
Well, that kind of means no polyester. That's kind of hard. So no spandex.
We've been very lucky that the Association has a second space where we have storage of costumes. So, you need a ball gown, we most likely have it. Cinderella, we probably have it. Men's suits, we have things like that we keep in storage. So knickers were very popular for young men during 1935, during this era. And so we were able to put several young men in vests and knickers and things like that. Most cast members provide their own shoes. We don't store those, but we're able to look at what do we have, what can be adapted. Like I mentioned, alterations need to happen. So our costumer does take care of that for us. And, we're very lucky in that aspect. And cast members provide their own costumes a lot of times. So they know, oh, I'm a pilgrim. I need a hat or an apron, things like that. It's winter in Brooklyn. So my character would probably need to wear a jacket when they're outside.
Or
so,
I'm a turkey. What kind of a costume am I going to wear?
Right. So costumes are really fun to put together in that aspect, because it's a lot coming from the cast member themselves plus the costumer. And usually our costumer is very creative, and which you need to be. So it's not just what do we have in storage that will kind of work. It's what do we have together and what can I create for this character, which is really fun to see come to life.
Instead of having a rehearsal, we had a costume day where they just came over to the costume shop and everybody tried something on. In fact, it was 2 days, wasn't it?
I was going to say,
it
was. We
2
have
days.
such a large cast. I was like, okay, hold on. Let's split you up.
It was 2 days.
Because with 16 children, I can't have you all trying on a costume at the same time.
No, that would be chaos.
Yeah. So it's been very rewarding to just watch these layers just get added on and come to life here, and see the lights come on now that we have started with tech, and they can actually this is what a blackout's like. This is what my spotlight, or where my spotlight is going to be, and
this is my sound effect from my alarm clock. Yes, this is a ding, on the store entrance. Yeah, it's great. It's fun. I think it's a blast. But like we said, it's a lot of hard work, but it's fun. I'm having fun, and I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't having any fun.
I can tell. There's a light in your eyes as you talk about it. So it's part of that passion and the energy, and I'm sure you translate that back to your cast as you're giving them some direction on what you see on paper and what you'd like to pull from them.
And it's funny, after we have a rehearsal, we're all on the stage and we're giving feedback, we're talking, and all the kids have costumes. I'm wearing my pajamas. Would I have shoes on? It's like, no, you'd probably have socks on, Yeah. They have these little questions that are kind of funny, but, it's still stuff that they want to know because they are committed to this production.
And that's cool that even down to the youngest ones, that they're thinking about detail to make it right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And what would we hear all the time, what would my face look like? What should I look like?
How would I react?
How should I react to this? And well, how would you react if somebody said that to you? Is that exciting? Is that depressing? Or how would you react to this if you weren't on stage? And so we talk a lot about facial expressions and movements, hand gestures, and things. So
no way you are first-time director and first-time assistant director. No
100%.
100% first-time director. I've assisted on Clue and Moon Over Buffalo and Playwrights and Baskerville. So I've assisted, but I've never directed. But I couldn't do it without this other Lisa here.
Yeah. So at rehearsals, we are just the Lisas.
We're the Lisas.
We're just the Lisas, and they'll say, "Hey, Lisa," we both turn our heads, and we don't know who they're talking to, so we just answer their question. But we are just the Lisas. Just come to the Lisas. But it has been lots of fun. I don't know if we've had more than a rehearsal or two with every cast member present. So I've got my head in the script. I'm reading for a missing cast member. We've had parents jump on stage to assist us with that. And we have one mom, she's like, "Why am I always playing the guy parts?" And, that's just become an inside joke with us. There's just always something going on. And I just do my best to make sure that Lisa is not with her nose in a script so that she can watch the action going on, so that she knows then how to direct them, when it's time for notes and stop and start and, hey, let's do that again. Or you missed your cue, let's do that again. And I get up there on stage as often as I can to say, this is what I'm saying, this is what I want to see from you, things like that.
And then we also have input from Jason Wheeler, who is producing the show too. And he has a lot of suggestions also. So,
well, Chris Morales nailed it with saying, "Why don't you direct?" Because I can tell just from the 20, 30 minutes we've been chatting, I can tell that Chris early on got a vibe, and she said, "Hey, it's time you feel this because that's what you're sending out." And Lisa, Mackenzie, with your experience as the stage mom, oh my gosh.
Were you one of those stage moms?
I'm sure I was. I'm sure I drove a director crazy.
It's the new reality show.
Yes,
stage mom.
like, why is this not in alphabetical order? I am sure I drove a director crazy a time or two. But it's been really exciting to be in and good out of my comfort zone. And when they asked me to be the assistant director, I said, I don't know I can't do that. That's a huge role. Let me just be backstage. I promise it will be organized. And they said no. So
it was a couple oops on our part. It's like, I really like this play. Want to direct? Oops.
Yeah. And
I want you to be assistant director.
Yeah. How can I help you? Well, be assistant director. Oops. So it's been really exciting to get out of my comfort zone, just like being on Tehachapi today. This is new and this has been kind of fun. So
good.
Yeah. It's not as scary as I thought it would be talking to the two of you.
That's right.
So,
we're easygoing
you
over here.
You are. Yeah, you certainly are.
But we've had Jason in on the show as well. And both, I know that Jason and Chris are huge encouragers for people. And they want to take their passion and they want to try and, it's in there. Let's unlock it. Let's unlock your passion. It's there. And that encouragement and mentorship is what I sense, is that the company, the TCTA, is this kind of different levels of mentors that are able to kind of help you along the way. At least that's what I hear from all of these conversations we've had over the last year plus, is there's a level of, well, it's not about me. It's about TCTA. And
absolutely. And everybody's so supportive. I mean, it's kind of like I'm training my replacement at some point. So the mentorship has been wonderful and tips and helpful and about the set and about, tech issues. All of it is coming together. And we're a team. We're a great team. We think we're a great team. And Lisa's brand new.
Right. Yeah,
and
I'm brand new.
Bringing a lot since August and bringing a lot of her experience and organization to the board. And it really helps. I mean, we make decisions as one. And I can't think of a better organization to be a part of right now.
You're better together.
We are.
Yeah,
we're the
Lisas.
Yeah. It's just very complimentary. I mean, right from when I got a chance to go out into the lobby and welcome you in, it was, you guys were in sync. You could tell that you guys are very comfortable together in conversation discussing this topic.
And we're kind of wearing the same thing.
So I was going to say, so the listeners can't hear it, but we are dressed very similar today, right down to our shoes. So that happens more often than we should probably admit.
Hard to acknowledge sometimes.
Well,
On the same wavelength.
We are. We are. So you want to talk about the upcoming season?
Let's do it. Let's talk
right.
about 2024 around the corner as we wrap up a Coney Island Christmas will wrap up our December 2023 run. And that means we look to 2024, January, February, March. We're going to be dark. And then you're going to kick the season off and run April through the rest of the year.
Right. So our next show opens April 4th. And April through the end of October, we have 3 shows currently on the calendar. Details coming, but Lisa, you want to talk about those a little bit?
Well, it's going to be Death Trap and Best of Broadway and Murder on the Orient Express. Not necessarily in that order.
Right.
Okay.
So those are the 3 that have been decided on.
Okay,
And
so those are booked. Those are inked.
Those are inked in,
those are
and
purchased.
yes, so we're good to go on those. I personally am super excited about Best of Broadway, which is a Broadway review, and so we have when you have the triple threat, those that can sing and act and dance when they're up on stage. Lots of fun to watch.
And especially with the success of Addams Family musicals, we want to throw another musical in there.
Yeah, that was all constantly heard positive feedback from it with people that went from within the city staff, that they went and took their kids, and it was like the kids loved it too, and it wasn't just for the adults. So you guys do these things for families. So there's different themes that go along with your demographics that you're trying to reach. On these different...
It is. So, the scary show's not for everyone.
Right.
So, and a comedy is not for everyone. Some patrons want to have the drama and the whodunit aspect, like we did in Clue, things like that. So, some, like the theater lovers like me, like I want to go see a musical. So we pay attention to that. What can we put out there for the children, and what can we put children in? How can we get the children in the community involved?
Yes, people want to see what they know. They want to see, well, how are they going to do Addams Family? Or how are they going to stage Clue with all those different rooms? So I've found that what we put on the stage is people want to see what they're familiar. That's why people go to McDonald's. They know what they're going to order before they even get to the counter or the drive-thru, like me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to the 2024 season and seeing what our production committee, along with our board of directors, decides on for the rest of the year.
And they are working on that right now.
All right. Well, let's tell everyone again how they can become. They can purchase tickets for Coney Island Christmas, and also once they do that, we also want them to, or maybe become a member first, and then they can apply their discount.
Absolutely, yes.
It is right away.
Okay, so we want to go to tctonstage.com, look at the membership area, and if you can go ahead and become an individual member or family member, the different levels that are available, and then purchase your tickets, you'll get an instant gratification there, the little discount right away for the first plays to wrap up 2023, A Coney Island Christmas.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now, is there anything we haven't talked about that you'd like to bring up? Has there been a surprise moment in rehearsals?
Has there been a surprise moment? I'm not sure. There could be one tonight.
Okay.
Keep us posted.
All right.
All right, we'll stay tuned.
I like surprises. There's always a surprise in a theater.
we
You
Right.
we have
never
surprises
know.
all the time,
Yeah.
especially with 16 kids.
Right.
Yeah,
Never a
that-
dull moment.
Unpredictable.
Yeah. It is.
But fun.
Yeah.
It would
All
be
right.
so boring if they weren't there.
Very good.
It'd be quiet.
Maya, anything in closing?
No, I'm excited to come watch.
Yes, you'll have to watch. Opens December 1st. First show is Friday, December 1st at 7:30.
That was December 1st.
Yeah, and that's good. It ties in because that's perfect timing for us, because obviously on Saturday the 2nd is the huge Tehachapi events. So we start with Breakfast with Santa, and it runs throughout the day with different events. We are going to be hosting the Tehachapi Hometown Christmas from 1 to 5 p.m. You've got the Christmas parade that begins at 5:30 along F Street, the Christmas tree lighting, and Coney Island Christmas.
Yes.
All reasons to come downtown. You can be here all day long.
You're booked.
Never leave and just feel like Christmas.
Christmased out.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, it's so festive.
Yeah.
It's
Now,
great.
can we put you on the spot and see just before your Saturday performance, as maybe we can get someone to sneak out and kind of come out into the Tehachapi Hometown Christmas to kind of promote
in the past, we have had cast members be in the parade in costume.
Well, let me invite you to step outside the walls of the BK if you get a few early and spill into Centennial Plaza. Mix it up a little bit. We'll have music, so we'll have all kinds of fun activities. But we would love to see some people, if in period piece, to come out and tease, maybe hand out some handbills and say, hey, this is how you buy your tickets, and mix with it. Because we're expecting onwards of 2,000 people between 1 and 5 o'clock.
Goodness.
So it's great exposure for you, but we would love to invite you to sneak out and
We'll try to
and
do
tease
that.
it.
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay, no pressure.
Yeah,
No pressure.
It's not, like,
Yeah.
it's not like we have to walk far. Yes.
Right.
Exactly right.
So,
All right.
yeah, we'll talk about that.
All right. So Lisa McKenzie, anything in closing?
No, I just want to thank you for having us.
It was our pleasure. And Lisa Meredith, anything in closing?
Thank you for hosting this with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think for Maya and I, it's the first time getting a chance to work together here, but we appreciate the energy that you're putting in, you're sharing with us, because I can already tell it's going to be successful. And it's nice to see. You guys are in step with each other. The spark in your eye right now is like you're so excited to get to rehearsal tonight. I can tell. It's like, okay, and that's what you want from your director, I would think, is that energy, as a stage mom, does that translate?
It does. It really does. So you see it in her, for sure.
And the kids can feel it, and they go off of that.
Yes.
I'm excited to bring my new props in tonight.
All right.
Yeah, and we have a really fun, dedicated cast.
And their
for
parents,
this.
too.
And you get to hear their accents. I mean, it's just so fun. I mean, it's really rewarding to see everyone give their best to this. And I'm looking forward to it.
We have a couple in the play called Mr. and Mrs. Abramowitz. And Mrs. Abramowitz was saying the other day, I don't know, he wasn't that affectionate tonight on stage. So they're thinking about some kind of couples therapy for the play, which is kind of bizarre.
All right. This is going to be fun. It's a Coney Island Christmas. The beginning run starts December 1st. It's going to go the first 3 weeks of December, closing on the 17th, a Sunday. We've got matinees on Saturday the 9th, the 16th, and, of course, the 10th and the 17th, the Sundays. So we've got 11 shows. Get your tickets, tctonstage.com. Become a member of TCTA. And you don't have to spend time at the BK, but we can support our local community theater by doing that. And then when you do have a few hours to volunteer and get a little bit more involved, you can. And the Welcoming Arms will bring you in and find something for you to do.
And you don't have to be a member to volunteer either. So
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
come down, see if you're having fun
have
and you
talent,
like it.
some of them hidden. So,
Yes.
yeah, join us.
And all of
not
this
so
money goes into purchasing future rights for musicals and plays. So just know that the money gets reinvested right back into community entertainment and in this theater group and what you're doing. So, ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, folks. If there's anything based on today's conversation that has a question, we'll forward it on off to Lisa 1 or Lisa 2. And so we can get that answer back to you. If you got a question about the show, a thought, an idea, please share it with us. We love to hear from you. And we look forward to talking to you again soon. Maya, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, folks. We'll catch you again soon right here on Tehachapi.
Tehachapi is a conversation about Tehachapi, featuring the community members who make this such a special place to call home. If you have a question or a thought you'd like to share, email media@tehachapicityhall.com. Thank you to Gary Mazzola for sharing his song, This is Tehachapi.